As you may be aware, the English term for unidentified flying object is abbreviated as UFO. However, are you familiar with UFOs? Similar to UFO is used to describe unknown objects that emerge underwater rather than in the sky. It might be anywhere in the water, from big lakes to deep oceans. Up to 70% of our planet is submerged underwater. As a result, it protects the human eye from the genuinely enigmatic undersea world like a flawless shell. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, the UFO Investigation Office will grow and advance the role of investigating unknown objects underwater in 2022. Water locations are excellent hiding spots for aliens, as demonstrated by several historical examples. We have encountered them, pursued them, and even visited their oceanic bases. Are UFOs real? Or did we unintentionally overlook a strange undersea settlement while looking for aliens? In the next half hour, let's find out. Welcome to Video UFO Aliens Underwater. To help this product get more exposure, Bua Trung Nguyen Thuy sincerely hopes that you will like the video. Remember to hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the most engaging material. Let's get right to the major point immediately. Since they first emerged, unknown flying objects have always been associated with the sky. People believe that UFOs were used to carry aliens whenever they visited Earth following the 1947 Roswell incident. Additionally, they gradually came to the conclusion that the visitors were always airborne, but few realized that legends of ghost submarines, which frequently show up all around the world, have been around since World War II. They are known as ghost submarines because, at the time, nobody knew what the item was doing, where it originated from, or why it was moving so quickly. Only a few seconds after you saw it emerge on the radar screen, it vanished into thin air. Destructive power was utilized to drive many armies insane since they believed it to be an opposing army. However, the outcome remains unchanged. The odd thing is completely undamaged. It travels more quickly than any warship ever built. No power of any kind can harm it. This world is not its home. The new idea of unexplained flying objects was first introduced by the ghost submarines. UFOs were created. Over time, the term UFOs came to describe two unusual objects near the water or unknown species rather than ghost submarines. Be classified as a UFO even if it is suspected of being one that is falling and sinking into the sea. Many enthusiasts, UFOs are all things that aliens bring to Earth. Hiding their true base by employing freshwater lakes or saltwater locations, been around for decades, just like all other hypotheses. 2009, a startling report was published by Russia Today. The claim, the Russian Navy had discovered some historic UFO-related documents, including notes from soldiers, bystanders, and numerous scientists regarding the experience of seeing, communicating with, or participating in missions involving unusual underwater objects. Many took the official recognition of UFOs seriously. Vice Commander of the Navy and head of a special investigation team, discovered these documents. What did they uncover, then? Is that information reliable? Is it true what so many people have long questioned? The majority of the material in the documents discusses the startling UFO experiences from a variety of cases. The ranks of the former regiment, in particular, contain seasoned warriors. Retired submarine commander Navy General Yuri Beketov revealed that UFOs frequently showed up during his deployments in the Bermuda Triangle. We can only make educated guesses because we have no way of knowing that. Everyone is aware that a gadget is approaching whenever it shows up at the same time without any apparent explanation or when it is extremely powerful. Beketov and his colleagues reported seeing UFOs traveling up to 230 nautical miles per hour, or over 400 kilometers per hour. The Soviet Union's Papa-class submarine, which is thought to be the fastest in the world, can only travel up to 82 kilometers per hour. This individual is not technically capable of traveling 400 kilometers per hour underwater. People started paying attention to prior occurrences of the same phenomenon after the UFO was given more serious recognition. The book then recounted a startling incident that attracted everyone's attention: the mystery of the unnamed object beneath Russian waters. The X-Man in Baikal Lake was the name of the event. Here are 15 seconds to advertise. This is a brand new male hair experience that eliminates all job weariness at 30 sizes. The 10-step call cutting combo is only costing 120,000 VND every week, and it includes top-notch technology and luxurious service, and we are referring to Baikal Lake here. With an average depth of 758 meters and a maximum depth of over 1,700 meters, this lake is regarded as the deepest freshwater lake in the world. In Baikal Lake, the enigmatic tale of the X-Man started in the summer of 1982. Here, Soviet soldiers were using the water to conduct training exercises. Up until they encountered an odd monster, everything was perfectly normal. This roughly 3-meter-tall creature resembled a person, but it moved considerably more quickly. They pretended that they were unaffected by the low water temperature. According to other soldiers, they didn't have any oxygen tanks, but they did have head-covering helmets and silver-colored clothing. They temporarily dubbed those entities X-Men because they were unable to provide an explanation. Following much deliberation, the soldiers agreed to devise a strategy to capture a creature and return it for study. It didn't take long for a team of 7 people to form and transport a net 50 meters below the surface. The X-Man showed up as anticipated. However, something produced a huge wave of water that struck the entire crew before they could grab it. It filled everything back to the surface at first glimpse. Perhaps you are unaware, but the pressure there gradually overtook the troops' bodies at a depth of 50 meters. They suffered from acute hypothermia as soon as they were forced back to the surface. 4 people were permanently disabled, and 3 people died instantly. The strategy didn't work at all. All X-Man-related information was regarded as a national secret and was absolutely prohibited from being shared in any way. However, some questioned whether those creatures were truly aliens that had made Lake Baikal their home after numerous records were successfully unearthed. After NASA published this odd Lake Baikal photograph in April 2009, this notion was further supported. It's clear from the picture that the circle is enormous, measuring roughly 4 kilometers in circumference. Be made of thin ice. Similar phenomenon has already been observed on Lake Baikal, also recorded in the same manner. B. Like the surroundings, the area at the center of the circle is still frozen. Circle surrounding it is not that way. Indicates that something is heating up beneath the ice cover, rendering water area impracticable. From man-made activity, what else do you suppose can heat up here? This serves as the foundation for the widespread belief that there is a secret base, or at the very least, a sizable alien spaceship, beneath Lake Baikal. The odd circle is the result of its activities, which has raised the water temperature in some places relative to the surrounding area. But is this accurate? Does this wild theory have any further supporting evidence? Regretfully, geophysicists have not thoroughly investigated the possibility of UFOs in Lake Baikal. It is therefore not very persuasive and is frequently criticized for being unrealistic and ludicrous. That does not, however, imply that all UFO-related incidents are not plausible. There might not be an alien facility in Lake Baikal, or the item may not be as submerged as people believe. The Baltic Sea, however, is another matter. Check it out here. A skilled Ocean X search crew unintentionally found this enigmatic object in 2001. Since the discovery, scientists have faced innumerable challenges in their quest to identify it. What is it, then? Is it an artifact from a past civilization? Or an alien-left spaceship? The body of a submarine was found at a depth of 90 meters in the Baltic Sea in June 2011 by the Swedish Ocean X professional crew. They intend to descend to investigate the remnants of this priceless vessel. Ocean X unintentionally noticed a big spherical item show up on the device's screen while conducting the search. With a diameter of almost 60 meters and a height of roughly 4 meters, the object resembled a gigantic plate. Its edges were flawlessly curved and extremely smooth. Without a doubt, this is not a natural product. The spaceship you are currently viewing is a lot like the one in the film War Between the Stars. The news immediately caught the public's and media's attention after it was announced. Many believe that this is an alien spaceship that was accidentally left behind. It will rank among the biggest discoveries in human history if that is the case. Since it was already dark and the ship's fuel was running low, the Ocean X crew did not immediately head to the ocean to inspect the plate after it was found. in order to recuperate and get everything ready for the extraterrestrial encounter. They made the decision to head to the port. The Ocean X team returned the following day with a detailed plan for this risky excursion. Crew members that attempt to approach the target without any protection will be exposed to several risks due to the sea's complicated ecology. Consequently, it will make more sense to use a small submarine, and that's where the weird stuff began, too. The submarine abruptly and mysteriously collided with an obstruction as it was getting closer to the item. The team members needed to evacuate the area as soon as possible and start the emergency procedure right away. However, it took some time for all of the equipment to return to normal. They made numerous attempts, but the outcome remained unchanged. This indicates that there appears to be an odd energy field influenced by the submarine's electromagnetic gadgets within a 200-meter radius of the object. It is clear that the enigmatic object cannot have formed naturally and is most likely a man-made creation. Who or what produced it, though, is the question. The Ocean X team modified their approach plan in order to discover the truth. This time, they selected a skilled diver and allowed him to go straight into the water by himself. He will receive assistance from the submarine more than 200 meters outside the impacted region. It's so bright under the sea that you can't see his fingers. The diver must slowly approach the enormous item using only the light above his head. He swiftly removed his equipment when he got closer to the objective and collected a tiny sample to take back to the lab. But after a few clicks, the gas tank ceased delivering oxygen, and the illumination abruptly shut out. The diver became very afraid at once. He attempted to get in touch with his co-workers after swimming back to the submarine, but the communication system was only partially operational. Although they couldn't hear him, the ship's occupants surmised that something wasn't right. In order to save the diver, they swiftly pulled the safety rope on his torso. People were really upset with this trip's outcome. There was stillness for a time, and then they started talking about going home or not. For safety reasons, some wanted to quit up, while others wanted to keep going. Another diver chose to take a chance while the situation remained tight. Fortunately, he was able to obtain a sample this time. After the sample was meticulously delivered to the lab for analysis, everyone was taken aback by the outcome. The lab's scientists found a sample that was rich in metal elements like manganese, iron, and titanium. Furthermore, the elements' combination was unusually complex and unnatural. The sample was discovered to have been at the sea floor for roughly 140,000 years using a contemporary detection technique. What is it, then? And from where does it originate? Volker Pruetta from the University of Stockholm put forth the most widely accepted theory in contemporary science. He claims that it is a particular kind of rock. Rivers that melt have had an impact on magnesium. That's when this kind of rock can form. This idea, however, is unable to explain why machinery, satellites, and telephones malfunction when they approach these objects. As a result, most people cannot be persuaded. It was a big secret once. However, shortly thereafter, they uncovered another discovery that necessitated a re-examination. They discovered a lengthy line under the sea's surface when examining the sonar photos captured at the moment the odd object was discovered. Thus, it sank to the sea's bottom and then came to a halt. The line is clearly visible through this copy image. The Ocean X team thought this was a UFO that had crashed into the ocean. This object must travel at a very high speed from a different planet to Earth in order to form such a lengthy line and last for hundreds of thousands of years. However, as I mentioned earlier, nature cannot produce it. Owing to a shortage of personnel and funding, the Ocean X team requested assistance from the Swedish Army to continue their investigation by excavating the odd object. Regretfully, they were not given any assistance. They apparently did not give up, though, and went on to conduct more missions to the sea floor after that. However, the Baltic Sea's terrain is very uncommon due to its unique geographic location. The odd thing has remained in its original location since people first found it. People are still unable to identify it. It can be evidence or a relic from an alien or ancient culture. Whatever the truth, this is a very significant and valuable discovery. It helps us better comprehend the secrets of the cosmos and science in addition to enabling us to reflect deeply about the past and future of humanity. It enables individuals to stay in touch with other cases that are comparable, even though the riddles surrounding objects in the Baltic Sea remain unsolved. For aliens, the Baltic Sea is a fantastic location. The fact that numerous historical occurrences have been brought up makes the intimate relationship between UFO and USO more evident. We said in the first paragraph that the U.S. Department of Defense formally conducts joint UFO and USO studies. The speed at which hundreds of new UFO reports are gathered enables researchers to conduct more thorough analysis of the data. Additionally, Bob McGrath, Director of Research at the University of Virginia's National Center for National Security and National Technology, detailed his own peculiar sleep experience in those publications. During a covert assignment aboard the USS Hampton submarine in the 1990s, McGrath made contact with a USO for the first time. He and his teammates were completely asleep when they heard an odd noise. An odd object traveling at a frightening pace was the source of that sound. In a rush, it was through Hampton. The sound's velocity exceeded that of the sound traveling through the atmosphere. What did the U.S. team learn about this USO, then? It was a secret that could not be revealed, McGrath said. In 2008, McGrath touched a USO for the second time. He was on board the USS Blue Ridge during a mission near the East Asian coast at the time. They ran into a large storm one day. In the hangar was McGrath. The sky did not appear to be raining, despite the fact that the cruiser was in the storm. He gazed out the window because he wanted to see the outside. At that moment, a light scared McGrath. There was a slight yellow gleam on the sea and the light was subdued. It appeared to be moving extremely slowly and was so bright that it filled the entire vessel. It gradually decelerated and paused its observation for a brief moment. Reports of witnessing USOs like these are actually rather common. Many individuals, including some professionals, assume that weird creatures frequently visit the mainland, but this is not unusual. The prospect of an alien base beneath the nation was also questioned by many due to the USO issue. Someone once asserted that they were welcomed to the underwater base by extraterrestrials. Orlando George Ferradini was the name of that individual. A team of renowned extraterrestrial investigators even spent 8 years looking into the story Ferradini presented. They came to the conclusion that Ferradini's experience was both genuine and uncommon. So, did the fortunate man actually get to see the aliens' underwater base? Ferradini was lying on a beach in Argentina one evening in August 1956. The footsteps behind him were audible to him. He prepared some water and medicine for them because he believed it to be some uninhabited folks. Ferradini usually assisted them as well. There were no unoccupied people here, he realized as he turned around. The only thing staring at him was a tall beast. After a while of staring at one another, the alien came up and forced Ferradini to accompany them using a unique language. Most humans would be really terrified, to be honest, but perhaps the alien had employed some brainwashing and magic to keep Ferradini from panicking and convinced him to accompany them. Ferradini eventually halted in front of them when he noticed an aircraft taking off from the ocean. Ferradini was instructed to follow the extraterrestrial as he proceeded to the plane. When he discovered that there was a 12-year-old girl on board, he became quite frightened. After introducing herself as Elena, she boarded the aircraft. The alien then instructed Ferradini to change into new clothes. Ferradini was covered with a unique substance he had never seen before. In a matter of seconds, the alien abruptly jumped into the sea after changing his clothes and returned to the sea near the San Bolong Bang neighborhood in Argentina. The alien eventually arrived in the sea close to Africa, when it abruptly took off into space after traveling on the sea for some time. Ferradini claimed to have seen the full image of the planet and moon when he was outside the space. It's interesting to note that Ferradini's depiction of the Earth and Moon matches our current observations completely. In 1961, the Earth's shape was first ascertained by humans. Yuri Gagarin accomplished the first human space flight that year. However, Ferradini has been describing the Moon's and Earth's precise shapes since 1956. This is now one of the main arguments in favor of the validity of his experience. Ferradini and Elena found themselves in a big building. As soon as they got off the plane, they could see through the window that a huge phallic frame encompassed it. There were numerous additional structures and a few ships with the same shape beneath the frame. 2 little children were singing. And you could see it as a city beneath the sea. Ferradini and Elena were informed by the alien that this was the spaceship's base. Another alien arrived at the base carrying a bottle of liquid and a platter containing 10 red, yellow, brown, and green items. As instructed, Ferradini and Elena consumed the item and drank the drink. It was unpleasant and lacked taste. After that, they were abandoned on the beach and dozed off in a yellow-lit chamber. They discovered they could read each other's minds without speaking when they woke up. An alien informed them at that moment that they had just finished a crucial test. Research aimed at better understanding human physical and mental states will be conducted using the test results. According to the aliens, Ferradini and Elena were in excellent health, and they used this test to determine how long they had lived in their previous lifetime. Ferradini was shocked by what the aliens stated next. They claimed that the uterus is a particularly unique organ found in humans. The largest characteristic of primates on Earth is this. However, the majority of primates lack activation. Humans can rise to an even greater degree than other species if this component can be engaged. As you may recall, we recently discussed primates in the Third Eye movie. You can watch the video here to learn more about it. Ferradini's cancer was also explained by the aliens. They claimed that the decrease in airway functioning was the cause. After identifying the weakest organ, he was able to alter the cell structure. This is entirely consistent with the findings of the present study. Ferradini, however, claims that these specifics are not just ahead of their time but also beyond his conception. It implies that a regular person like Ferradini cannot achieve scientific correctness, even in the case of a mutation. Ferradini woke up where he was fishing at the end of the entire expedition with the aliens and saw that it was already 6 o'clock. I'm not sure whether the Ferradini story was the cause or not. The Abyss, directed by the renowned Canadian James Cameron, was released in 1989. Its primary plot is around the underwater aliens who, after being impressed by humanity's kindness, choose to assist them instead of destroying them. Even now, a lot of people still watch this movie. Most of them are only detected by outdated data, unlike UFOs. The most crucial thing is that we take the research of UFOs extremely seriously, as they are becoming increasingly common in current times. The Papua New Guinea incident may be one of the most recent newsworthy events. More precisely, on January 9, 2014, a rocket flew across the night sky, burst in the Pacific, and crashed close to the Papua New Guinea coast. IM-1 was the name of this rocket. After much work, Harvard professor A. Villip headed his team to the Papua New Guinea coast on June 14, 2023, to study that enigmatic object. After the IM-1 was torched, they searched for 2 weeks before finding the last pieces of metal. How did they discover it? What did they discover? Authorities and Villip's team collaborated to create a 10-kilometer landing zone for the rocket. They then arrived here to conduct a search by exploring the seafloor using submarines. The crew swiftly found 10 enigmatic items that Villip thought might have been created by extraterrestrial technology with the aid of contemporary machinery. As a space physicist, Villip concurred that these pieces most likely came from a different galaxy. 84% iron, 8% silicon, 4% As, 2% titanium, and a trace amount of other elements are included in the objects, according to component analysis. Their size is less than 1 millimeter. They appear significantly different from the surrounding surface when viewed under a microscope. They are brown, blue, and yellow. Some appear to be miniature versions of the Earth. We have calculated their speed outside the solar system up to 60 kilometers per second, Professor Villip continued. Materials stronger than iron are used to make them. Additionally, they travel 95% faster than all of the stars in the solar system. This raises the possibility that this is either a technological item or a starship from a different civilization. He likened this circumstance to that of NASA's Voyager probe, which was launched in 1977 and continues to float in space today. He maintained that, similar to Iron Man's experience, Voyager will fall like an asteroid when it enters another far-off planet in 1 billion years, but 10 odd metal things must have a message if that's the case. And we haven't been able to figure it out yet. Perhaps you are unaware, but Harvard's astronaut is Avi Villip. He is the leader of the Galileo project, which seeks to uncover concrete proof of aliens and their technology, and a member of the U.S. President's Science and Technology Advisory Council, according to The Independent. Consequently, I think Professor Lope's research on metal items is entirely well-founded. Humans should focus more on the ocean in addition to space exploration. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next stories. Got an idea or a question you'd like me to cover? Leave it in the comments below. See you next time.